Well, this rehabilitation, it's all because of Trump derangement syndrome, though they have to pretend like Joe Biden's some kind of guy with integrity and dignity instead of, the horrible criminal anti-worker guy that he's been his whole life. He's been anti-student, anti-worker, and he crushed a goddamn railroad strike. And everybody just memory holds that happened. Like if Trump did that, it would be on billboards forever. And it's what Joe? Why do you think?
Yes, this interview is amazing. Joe Rogan recently sat down with Jimmy Dore. They discuss about the debate, and it is important we take an exclusive look into what actually went on. There is something black voters have realized. Take a look at these.
I have a message to my Democratic friends, the big Democrats. I know some of them. First off, let me say something. I'll be voting for Joe Biden. I believe that politicians are collections of ideas, policies, the execution of those things. So who you are, to me, doesn't matter as much as the freedoms and the opportunities that you represent. I've heard a lot of people speaking to people in ways that don't address the old-ass elephant that's in the room. You essentially are looking at your electorate after that debate performance and saying, suck it up and fall in line, we got work to do. I don't think that that's appropriate. I think that that's being disrespectful. And it's particularly disrespectful for the Democrats to do it because this entire election cycle, the Democrats have been scaring the shit out of us. They've told us that there is this big orange dragon that is breathing fire at us. This fire is going to burn up democracy. It's going to burn up our voting rights, bodily autonomy. The very fabric of the country is under a fire-breathing attack from this gigantic, huge harbinger dragon. And who do they trot out to fight this dragon? Orville Redenbacher. Literally, gigantic dragon, gonna burn up the whole country, and they send out a Walmart.
Yes, according to Black Consecutive, he sent this out on X. Black Liberal accuses Democrat of rigging the elections for Biden, but will vote for him anyway to preserve democracy. A message to my friends in the Democratic Party: stop effing gaslighting us. That is what they've realized, and we all saw what happened during the primary. The Democrat never had that because they were scared that someone would just rise up and take it away from Joe. So the only thing we could do is to dictate to our people. That is exactly what is going on. Now, people still standing up to say, I will vote for him. It is something I don't understand. It is crazy to know the truth and you don't want to accept it, you continue to do the same thing. Therefore means you don't want to change. You've realized who they are. Then why don't you continue, to advocate for them? That is a question I'm asking.
Gigantic dragon gonna burn up the whole country, and they send out a Walmart greeter to fight dragon. And we're not supposed to have any concerns.
Sure.
So my thing to Democrats is this: instead of scolding, belittling us, and calling us out, come to terms with the reality. And the reality is that the Democratic establishment brought someone to this dance who might break his hip. And if that's who we got to vote for, fine. If that's the only way to preserve bodily autonomy, to preserve voting rights, to preserve democracy, fine. But get this ready and get off our backs about it. Because the establishment chose this candidate in 2020, and they chose him again in 2024. They had opportunities to open this up to a primary for different voices or to rotate somebody else in, and they said no. Maybe they did it because they believe that Joe Biden is the only guy who could possibly beat Donald Trump. I don't know enough about it to know whether or not that's true or not. Mm-hmm. But what I do know is I'm not going to act like I don't have eyes and ears for the Democratic Party.
Yes, the questions I'm asking myself, if I realize that someone is not competent to do the job, why should I even continue to advocate for that person? This man is speaking sense, based on who he support. He has realized, he knows who Biden is. They rejected the primary because they wanted Biden to be there. Now, taking a look at the situation, he has actually even destroyed the Democratic Party based on what I've observed. And you all know what is going on right now. Joe Rogan sat down on this interview where they talk a lot.
I know that's why this rehabilitation, it's all because of Trump derangement syndrome, that they have to pretend like Joe Biden's some kind of guy with integrity and dignity instead of, the horrible criminal anti-worker guy that he's been his whole life. He's been anti-student, anti-worker, and he crushed a goddamn railroad strike. And everybody just memory holds that happened. Like if Trump did that, it would be on billboards forever. And it's what Joe, why do you think that because my whole life the establishment loved Donald Trump, right?
Well, because the only option is if you don't go with Biden, then you're not with the Democrats. And the Democrats view themselves as a team. They view themselves as a team as much as patriots think of America first. It's like that team is Democrats first. And that's the only representation they have right now. Like, apparently, now I don't know if this is true, but someone was were you telling me about this, Jamie? About the live streaming of, was it you? Or was it someone else? Of Rob Reiner and all these people.
Oh, they were earlier too. Like, I'll find the story.
They were all live streaming the debate and freaking out.
Barbara Streisand's crying.
These people are deranged. These people are no different than the Manson family in that they are in a cult.
Yeah.
They're locked into this ideology. It's not as bad as the Manson family, but it's clearly a cult. It's an ideological cult where you're not willing to go against any of the doctrines of the cult. And one of
you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to have. You have to practice groupthink, and that's
And Bill Maher's a heretic, even though he's very much a liberal. He's a heretic because he says
every once in a while he'll tell the truth.
A lot of times, he's not as informed as I'd like him to be about some of the stuff, like MK Ultra, the WEF,
or Ukraine.
Well, I don't know what he knows about Ukraine, but he hates Donald Trump. I think I couldn't figure it out on the podcast. Like, he wouldn't even have a rational discussion as to why he hates him. He's crazy.
Yeah.
But the thing I found out that he was sued by Donald Trump.
Yes, so that's
probably it.
Because when he said that, Donald.
Yes, they went further to call out Maher. We know what he has been doing. He is struggling to play on both sides, and I'm glad Joe Rogan realized this with Jimmy Dore. Recently, we saw his reaction, pertaining to the debate. He has been advocating for Gavin Newsom, like Biden should be replaced by him, which to me is still insane because Gavin Newsom, if left to compete with Trump, Trump will still beat him hands down. It is someone we all know, right? Please subscribe, turn on your notifications. It will do you no bad if you share out the video.
And I'd say good for you. That's what you get for fucking lying. They've all lied. I think the media took just as big a hit as Joe Biden did that night.
Yeah.
Because now, just a few weeks ago, there's that Joe Scarborough.